Hey, Daryl here, and this is my daily devotional. I want to remember that the next time before I start whining to God, before I start whining, I want to be reminded to listen from God's perspective to what my whining must sound like to Him. I mean, honest to goodness, I have been provided with so much earthly provisions. And I've been provided with spiritual provisions. And I know I have a home waiting for me, that He is prepared for me. I need to remember next time before I begin whining to God, to listen to my whining from God's perspective. The children of Israel had been given so much from God. They had received the deliverance from the Egyptian captivity. And now they're in their travels, and God's given them the provision of the manna, and all they had to do each morning was to go collect the manna, and they could use the manna in several different ways, and it was always there the next day. His provisions for them as His provisions for me, they are just remarkable and a great abundance. And yet they were whining to God because they got tired of His provisions. And they began longing for the good old days when they were in captivity, where they got to eat some fish and some meat. Listen as I'm reading in Numbers chapter 11 at verse 1. Now the people complained about their hardships in the hearing of the Lord. And when He heard them, His anger was aroused. Then fire from the Lord burned them and consumed some of the outskirts of the camp. When the people cried out to Moses, he prayed to the Lord, and the fire died down. Now verse 4, listen. The rabble with them began to crave other food. And again the Israelites started wailing and said, "If only we had meat to eat. We remember the fish we ate in Egypt at no cost. Also cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, and garlic. But now we have lost our appetite. We never see anything but this manna." So they are tired of God's provision of the manna. So they're whining to God. And so God says, okay, I'm going to give you what you want. Now, let's be careful. Let me warn us. Be careful what you ask, because you might get it. And once you get it, you might be sorry you asked. Listen, I'm skipping down to verse 18. Tell the people, consecrate yourselves in preparation for tomorrow when they will eat meat. You want meat? God said, you're going to get meat. The Lord heard you when you wailed. If only we had meat to eat. We were better off in Egypt. Now the Lord will give you meat, and you will eat it. You will not eat it for just 1 day, or 2 days, or 5, 10, or 20 days, but you'll eat this meat for a whole month. Now listen to this next verse. Until it comes out of your nostrils, and you loathe it. Because you have rejected the Lord who is among you, you have wailed before Him, saying, why did we ever leave Egypt? Be careful what you ask for. God said, you want meat? I'll give you meat. Don't you love it when it says you're going to get so much meat, it's going to come out of your nostrils. You'll be so tired of meat. And so as the scripture continues and the description and instructions were given, it says now at verse 31, a wind went out from the Lord and drove quail in the form from the sea. It brought them down all around the camp. And so they had quail to eat. So much quail. For a month, they got tired of the quail. My goodness. Let us be thankful for the provisions God has given us. And the next time we sense a need to whine to God, let's pause a moment and consider what that whining might sound like from God's perspective. God bless you. Good day.